Hey, I'm Brandon Scott. I play Peter.
I'm James Allen McCune. I play James.
I'm Wes Robinson, and I played Lane.
We're gonna do a quick, not quick. We're gonna do an hour and a half long commentary. We just kind of batted around the idea of doing our own thing after seeing some folks talk about it online. We figured we would give it to you for free on YouTube so you could watch along. So we're gonna show you what we're seeing for the first few seconds of the movie, so you can help sync with it if you want to watch the film with us. Otherwise, it's just going to be kind of us gabbing about our experience filming this thing.
Totally.
Yeah, what he said.
And yeah, I hope we don't cause an uproar or anything. What a shame that would be. All right, cool. So I'm just going to sync this up with here. We're going to start the movie right now. All right, cool. Welcome to Blair Witch 2016.
2016.
The most rock solid year.
The following footage was assembled from memory cards and DV tapes found near Burkittsville, Maryland, in the Black Hills Forest on May 15, 2014.
Do you remember when we first watched this at Lionsgate?
Oh, yeah.
Like, we had gotten called in to do it after, like, months of waiting for... They're like, any day now, and then, like, nothing for forever. But this was the most exciting thing in the entire world to actually get to see it for the first time.
I just remember being at Comic-Con, and when the lights went down and that came up first, you could kind of hear this little bit of, like,
Comic-Con
kind
was
of thing.
crazy.
Yeah.
Comic-Con was nuts, because at that point... Oh, God. Comic-Con was nuts because nobody had any clue what it was at the moment. I think that's probably the best, like, one of the best, like, movie theater experiences I've ever had.
Yeah, and a horror fan knows
reveal.
that title card.
Yeah.
You know, they know the placement and the font and how the original Blair Witch Project opened. So,
Because nobody knew it was a Blair Witch movie. So, like, when it finally came up, when somebody, I think Callie says, "Do you believe in the legends of the Blair Witch?" in a few minutes, and when that happened, there was like an audible gasp
Yeah.
in the audience, and everyone just kind of like, "No way!" They were all like whispering to each other and stuff. It was so rad.
look at that good-looking, handsome dude right there.
Ooh, somebody's gonna get a kiss later.
Ow!
The funny thing about this was actually shot. I think Adam and Simon talked about this. This was shot in L.A. These were pickups.
Oh, yeah, these were pickups.
And this intro scene we had shot in, because this was filmed in Canada. We filmed it in Vancouver, and that intro scene we had filmed initially in an apartment somewhere. Actually, in the apartment we see the exterior of in a little bit when we're doing like the walkie-talkie checks and stuff. The inside of that apartment was actually used to film in it initially. And I remember we filmed a different intro where I turned to the camera and I'm like, I think that's my sister or whatever. I remember reshooting this, what you actually saw, what we ended up using, and talking to the Los Angeles crew, and they were like, because Adam does a lot of takes.
Yeah.
He likes a lot of takes when he films stuff, which is cool. But they were like, one of the crew members was like, does he always do this many? And I was like, oh yeah, we did 65 passes on a scene one time, and they're like, oh my God, which scene was that? And I was like, oh, it was the first time we shot this scene. And I think we did another like 50 passes on this one or something like that. It was a lot.
Yeah.
Now, were the I can't remember on the pickups, were people aware on set that it was a Blair Witch movie at that point?
No, because
right?
I think when my character said something, or someone says, maybe it's the one when Callie says, so do you believe in the Blair Witch or whatnot? I remember someone being like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things from that whole shoot was there was a lot more exposition than you actually see in the movie that they had to, which I think it's always good to overwrite and overshoot so that they can cut it down later. But there was initially a scene where I was in it was actually this day. So I was in my emergency paramedic get up and stuff, and we were actually driving in that truck, and there was supposed to be an interview in that truck from Lisa to me, and there was a long monologue that I tell.
yeah.
And I remember saying something about the Blair Witch for the first take, and the camera guy like put the camera down, and he was like, "Is this a Blair Witch movie?" He had no idea. So it was like news to people on set.
So cool.
Like as it went, people were finding out.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, even a lot of the crew got, well, they were like dummy signs.
Yeah, safe pages.
Yeah, safe pages. So they didn't even know for pretty much the majority of the whole
No, I actually
filming.
remember, being in the makeup trailer and the girls in there talking about still trying to figure out what this film was. And and they still had no idea. And I feel like we were 2 weeks or so into shooting at that point.
Oh, I thought you had more to the story.
Oh, I was enamored by
I
that.
loved playing this video game.
yeah.
I really did enjoy playing this video
This was
game
really
with you.
cool because they had like briefed us beforehand that we were going to be playing Borderlands 2.
Yeah.
And I had played the first one, but not the second. So we like got together like the day before or something and made sure to get familiar with it a little bit. But that was super cool. This was LA too, and it was hot as balls in that room. Oh my god! Can we say? I think we could probably be vulgar. If you're watching this, it's an R-rated movie, so
This is on YouTube.
get used to
There's
it.
worse on YouTube.
Get used to the swearing. If you don't like it, I'm sorry, but not that sorry.
Oh, the club scene.
Oh, dude,
Oh,
this was
man.
super cool. There was a lot of stuff in here that didn't make it too.
Yeah,
Fun
because
fact.
they added some of it as in her voiceover or something.
I'm actually in the background in this bar somewhere
Oh yeah, me too.
as
Actually,
a drunk patron, just passed out on a table.
that's right. I remember that. Yeah, I was there too. Initially, this scene ends with me walking up, but we cut over that. There's a lot of really cool fast cuts in there. There was, I think the sound design was my favorite part of this whole thing. Is just so fucking excellent.
Yeah, the sound design is amazing for sure.
Yeah. I love this. This is so good, dude.
Like
Like
I love Corbin's face though.
Oh, yeah.
Corbin's just like, here you go.
She makes that face every time I talk. I love you, Corbin.
this is such a good scene. Like you guys fucking nailed it. I love that. This was this one of the audition scenes for y'all?
Yeah, it was the longer version of it. There was a bigger monologue where I talked about the helicopters and being out there, and then we just got to party. Remember we danced.
There was a whole
and then
dance scene.
I pretended like I was passing out.
Yeah.
And then someone got really concerned for me.
I
and was
forgot
like,
about that.
No, Peter's just drunk.
I love that. I
You
forgot about that.
ridiculous.
And Adam like ran through the crowd at one point with the mask on. There's
Oh,
actually in the background of that scene.
Yeah, the DJ.
He was
the
the
DJ
DJ.
wearing the
There
mask.
was an
fingernails?
actual DJ, and he was wearing the
Animal
your
goat
next mask
mask or
on his head.
We shot that in Squamish, right?
Squamish.
Squamish.
Love Squamish. This was so hot this day. I don't know why I was wearing that big poofy vest. Oh my god.
No, this is LA too, right?
This is
No,
No,
this
no.
isn't-
This is Canada.
This is
Oh, was it?
This is Canada. Yeah. That's the apartment where the original apartment set was. This was Canada. Yeah, this was how far into the shoot was this?
This was towards the end.
I think so.
I think.
That's a really smart decision on, and I don't know if it was Adam's decision or if it was a scheduling necessity or whatever. I'm pretty sure it was Adam's choice though. But he made sure to film a lot of
What does that
this.
say in the background? Emerald City.
Oh, but it's like
Emerald-
spelled wrong.
I forgot all these Easter eggs.
Yeah.
in the
Did
freaking
you not see
film.
that on set?
No, I remember it, but I remember seeing it on set, but I
Yeah.
don't remember it.
Yeah, there's
recalling
a-
this.
I don't know if they want us.
That's Lane's house
Bring
in
it
the
up.
background, the future house that's being built.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's I don't know if they want us to bring it up, but I'm gonna do it anyway. There's a lot of, if you watch the movie, we are all loosely based on what
Wizard of Oz character?
Wizard of Oz.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Wizard of
I
Oz.
think someone said that in an interview.
Yeah, so there's a lot of like, oh dude, this scene.
Oh, that was so much fun.
There's maybe 6 hours of footage from this.
of us just
Yeah,
messing
just-
around.
yeah.
You guys
I
did
think we
prank calls
did a
and stuff,
prank phone
right?
call. At
Oh
some point.
yeah. Like they were like, you can make a whole nother movie out of just you guys in that hotel room.
And then remember one time Adam came by and like hit the window, banged
Oh,
on the
scary
window.
shit.
And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, this day was terrible. So
Why? Why was this day terrible, Jim?
I had an ongoing problem the entire shoot, which it was one of the most miserable experiences ever. I had this weird
That's
eye
rough.
issue.
There's a 2 Lions license plate.
It's so good. Yeah, I had an eye
Oh,
issue for
yeah.
the entirety of the shoot, which was terribly frustrating. But for some reason, on that day when we filmed the drive over there, I had gotten like hairspray in my contact, and so I couldn't see to
Oh, God.
drive. And I was just like dying the entire. I was like crying because my eyes were like so screwed up. So it was just like,
My mama,
oh yeah, that I
Lane's
forgot
mama.
about
She
her.
was such a nice girl.
Oh, somewhere over the
I
rainbow.
love that.
Confederate flag.
Lane has a lot of winning characteristics.
I love that look.
Character traits.
That's implying a lot about your character, though.
It sure is. Yeah.
I mean, like, Did you ever perform it like, oh, I'm a racist, or was that like not that
uh,
that's what that inherently
yeah.
implies, but you know,
No,
I didn't know if you had thought about that.
I just remember walking into the house set that day and seeing that, and I was like, oh, really? Because I mean, I remember I'm already like, you know, hitting Lisa with a table leg later, and it's like all these lovely things that Lane gets to do.
It's just he's part of that.
But I mean,
Deep
this,
Southern
you know,
culture.
where I grew
Different
up,
world.
this is kind of the way homes look there. So
Yeah.
it's very
Yeah.
accurate.
Yeah, well, we're all good old boys from the South.
Yeah.
So like we're
Alabama represent.
Georgia.
Kentucky. I was sitting here thinking about the
Where am I
TV
from?
cam. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love her faces.
Yeah.
The tension in this scene is so great.
I've always watched the scene. I've always had the feeling Peter didn't want Lane to come along for some
No,
reason.
he did want you to come
No,
along.
he
Yeah.
Yeah,
loved
he's
you.
very
Yeah.
excited about having you along. Yeah, that look says it all.
You know, this is a pretty beautifully shot movie, considering we tried to make it look like crap or make it look amateur. Like, the image is gorgeous.
Was this the red?
Yeah, we shot on the Red Epic and a bunch of other cameras that we slowly whittled away from using just because of how convenient the Red was to use during the day and how wonderful the A7S was to use it at night. It was a really interesting process.
And what was the Lane's cam? Was it HMC? What was it called? Do you guys ever remember?
I don't.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
DV.
The DV cam, but the
used
actual
so many.
camera
Oh, I
was
love
a
this part.
HMC. I don't know.
This
When
was
it
great.
cuts
This
to-
truck was
This was
a
our
nightmare.
first day.
That
This was
right
first
there,
day,
yeah.
first scene. Adam was on the walkie. He's like, just pretend you're listening to like really metal music. So he throws in some NKVD and
That's so great.
Yeah, this was the first day of shooting. And,
Yeah.
and this is when we were also pretty much figuring out the head cams and everything. And
Well, I mean, there was so much to learn
yeah,
because we had to dance around the camera operators.
yeah,
But not only that, we weren't really sure what the tone was because I don't know if you could see that, but the license plate said 10 man.
oh yeah.
So on Lane's truck it says 2 lions. So
oh, you're saying
There's a yellow brick road. I'm the 10 man. Lisa is what's her name?
Dorothy.
Dorothy, I'm
You're the
Scarecrow.
yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I
'Cause that's
think
why I'm
Talia and
wearing
Lane are the
brown.
Cowardly Lions.
You can see it in our clothing and stuff. It was really excellent the way that they dressed us in relation to that. It's so
Darknet.
cool. Yeah.
That was improv.
Oh yeah. So that's what I was saying. We weren't sure how to play this because it is a scripted thing, and the original Blair Witch Project was not scripted, and so we were constantly trying to dance around how authentic this needed to be versus how much we had to say.
Simon was really
that
great
written.
with that, letting us dance around that.
Yeah.
He was. We have a bunch of, and I'll try to include him, but we have a bunch of footage of us rehearsing. We had an entire week of rehearsals before
yeah.
we actually shot, which was a godsend. And it's so fascinating to see how different it was versus this, because it was we were trying to make it sound as honest as possible and as like spontaneous, but something about that doesn't lend itself to telling the story in a lot of
Yeah.
ways. I think that's what
Yeah.
Simon kind of realized was that we're trying to make it sound so natural that it distracted from actually getting the information across.
story.
Yeah. Which it's hard. This was a really hard thing to do, to make it seem
I think
realistic.
that was our first big dialogue scene we shot, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. You leaned over to me the first time we watched that look I just gave Lisa, and you were like, "Hungry eyes."
Hungry
I was like, "Those are bedroom eyes."
Those were bedroom eyes for
That
sure.
that was totally.
Yeah, I always liked that relationship between James and Lisa was never actually like finished. You never really got like
Yeah.
all the way into them having a
Will
relationship.
they? Won't they?
Yeah, well, I guess there's the whole tent thing, which we'll see later. But, I love her hair like that. That's super cool.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great.
This was the vast majority of what I remember when filming this, was just marching through the woods.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness!
we did a lot of
I remember I
walking.
had a Fitbit on, and I mean, I logged so many freaking steps.
Do you remember one day, wasn't it like 11 miles or something?
It was ridiculous.
Something
And it was,
crazy.
I think it was this day, or when we were shooting one of the times we shot this scene, that last scene, because there was so many different reiterations of that because it's just getting exposition across in a way that is informative but also honest is really hard.
We also shot 2 versions of that scene before. There was a
We
version
did.
where Lane and James have a debate on what they perceive the Blair Witch as, and
Right, right. Yeah, that's what all the rehearsals were kind of working through. Was the relationship between James and Lane was way more antagonistic. Yeah, so it's you can kind of see remnants of it, but again, it just distracted from the information,
yeah,
which is
it was a lot of exposition, and
it's a hard thing, and I think the movie gets a lot of criticism for I love this. It's the line on the back of his
Wes.
backpack. Oh, there it is. He threw some serious shade at
Poor
him.
Lane.
poor Lane.
Poor Lane.
Such a good dude too. He deserves none of this.
Oh, I miss everybody.
This is how Peter makes new friends.
Yeah.
He's mean because he cares.
Oh yeah, I think Adam shot that, right?
Yeah, we all kind of took turns filming stuff.
Right.
Towards the end of the movie, it was just like, I think you and me were kind of in the camera
In the
suit.
camera
After a while,
suit.
it just became easier.
That thing was so heavy.
I'll throw some pictures up on the screen. This thing was, and the pictures don't even give it justice because
Man.
we didn't take pictures of its final form, but this thing was,
It was enormous, and all the weight would just get worse over time the longer you'd wear it.
and so it's just a camera like on a football helmet with counterweights on the back.
And then we had some pack on our
Yeah, all the batteries,
chest and our back.
and the external recorder, and like all the stuff was just like,
It was just a lot. And not that I mind wearing it. It was just it was heavy.
it was. I went to a physical therapist. Legitimately, I went to a physical therapist after we filmed. I came back to Georgia and found a lady, and I remember she started like massaging me, and then she stopped and she was like, "What happened to you?"
Wow.
It's like, "Are you?"
Blair Witch.
Yeah. I'm like, well,
Well,
I
it
was
all
in the
started
woods.
when
Oh, remember this freaking creek
this creek
or
was so
river
cold.
or whatever
it was so miserable.
We all had wetsuits on.
That was the worst thing. It's
Yeah.
like the creek was fine. It was actually kind of fun wading through the water, but the awful thing was that we had under our clothes compression suits, like which are just wetsuits to keep us a little bit warmer, and we
well,
couldn't
if you had to go to the
pee.
bathroom, forget it.
Yeah,
It
we had to
wasn't
get
happening.
completely naked in order to go to the
See,
bathroom.
I just waited till I got into the creek and peed in the water.
Yeah.
No, I'm
Did
kidding.
you really?
No, I'm just kidding.
Wes had like a pool of water in his boots. It was just complete piss.
I was making up for the shoes. Soles.
This was it was a super fun day, but it was hard. This was like really weird. I remember walking at the end of the day. I had to get across the lake, and I didn't have. We had booties on that help protect our feet and stuff, but I didn't have I already taken mine off, and they were awful to put on.
Yeah.
So I just refused, and I decided to walk barefoot across the water. That's a shitty idea. I don't recommend anybody
Yeah, it's
try
terrible.
and cross a lake like this.
Absolutely terrible.
You will fuck your feet up way worse than Ashley's foot gets in a minute. It was dreadful. It hurt like hell.
I think we also had shoes that we could go in? And Wes, you didn't have any shoes.
No.
right?
My
You
shoes
had
were, for whatever reason, missing the actual part that protects your
the
feet.
sole.
Oh
Soles,
man.
yeah. So I
felt
was just
so
like
bad.
powering through take after take to try to get across
Yeah.
this creek.
You were in a terrible mood all day.
I'm so sorry.
I gotta hug Wes.
I was like, my feet hurt real bad.
Yeah, it was because your feet were screwed. I'm like, dude.
That's actually a close up of my foot, not Ashley's.
Yeah, this was the same day too. We got through a lot of stuff that day.
Oh man.
I remember not having any clue.
Ooh.
I did as much like paramedic. I wish I had like gotten to work with an actual paramedic, but I like researched as much as I could about how to be a paramedic, and you don't see anything. I look like I have no idea what I'm doing this entire time because I don't. But I apologize to any paramedic who saw this and totally called me out for not doing anything properly this whole way.
No one got called out for anything with this movie, James.
No, nobody had any sort of critical eye on this film. This is mostly the. When was this? Where was this in the shoot?
In the woods.
This was one of our first days at the campsite. So
I love this.
probably 2 weeks in, whatnot.
Yeah, this sequence is so good.
Oh my goodness. We did
Well, see, this was before we started shooting it, and was like, "Can you just put that tent together real quick so that we can roll on it?" And this was all actually Brandon had no idea it was being filmed. I'm kidding.
I love that.
I was actually a Boy
Adam's
Scout.
like, "Just grab the camera and
I
roll."
know how to put together a tent. Come on.
I love that shot of you two just kind of like
Oh yeah, that was like
patiently sitting there.
that was like the Office moment.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that. It was hard
There's a
not
lot
to
of that,
get
yeah.
really Jim on it when you like look at the camera like, oh, this is a quirky moment. Oh, and this was. What am I gonna do? Get murdered?
What's gonna happen? This is going out on
Just
my
gonna go by
own.
myself into the woods.
Peter.
I love that.
Bro.
I feel like the relationships were. I would love to see more of. It's just hard.
from the get-go, from the audition.
Yeah,
I remember we just naturally were just like,
for sure.
we were cracking up.
Because we had me and Callie got cast initially, and she and I were brought to the chemistry read so that we could meet all of the other
Oh yeah.
potential castmates and stuff. And I remember at your audition they kicked you out of the room, and it was between you and another guy, and they were like, okay, which one did you guys like the most? And we were both like at the same time, like, Brandon.
Aww.
That dude's awesome.
We
It
had a
was
good
so
time.
Yeah, yeah.
We were being silly.
Yeah, I remember it was like a serious scene, and we turned it into like this weird. It was like a UCB bit. It was great.
I did my callback with Valerie. It was a chemistry read, and Adam was like, "Just do it like it's a comedy this time." And I was like, "Is he just messing with me?"
Well, your characters were certainly the
Yeah,
more
like,
lighthearted. Well, I mean, for the beginning of it.
for a bit, yeah.
I wonder which version of the campfire scene this was.
Oh my
We shot
goodness,
this
the
a lot.
campfire.
Well, you can tell
That's
because
such a cool
there's-
shot right there.
Oh, I love it.
It's like so demonic, but also
Disgusting.
fun.
I love this because it makes Lane. It shows that Lane doesn't really like do this a lot. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like he
Yeah.
doesn't have a ton of friends, and he doesn't go. I love that. He doesn't like seem to.
He is Italian. His mom. So
Yeah.
that's a ton.
It seems like you guys are genuinely having a really great time with this. That's such a great shot.
Yeah.
I remember that was in the trailer, the Woods trailer, which was a beautiful trailer. It was so good.
It was cool.
The initial Woods trailer was really awesome. It was interesting to see how differently they marketed it after it shifted to the Blair Witch.
I remember kept getting the direction. Stir the fire.
Oh yeah,
Stir the fire. Make sparks come.
this was another thing that fucked up my eyes because the smoke
Oh yeah.
kept
Oh,
getting
yeah.
into. It's crazy how it doesn't come up, but my eye was seriously screwed up.
Couldn't even tell.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
never
crazy how
noticed
I hope that they didn't screw up. They didn't screw up the edit too much, but there was some serious issues with my eye. Don't screw around with your eyes. Like if your contacts feel like they're hurting, take them the fuck out. It is not. It's a serious business. I can't believe how stressful that was.
Oh, this is where we get into the lore.
There was so
Which
much.
is one of my favorite things about this film. Like all the little.
It's really rich mythology and
Yeah, man. I just love. It was. I'm bummed that I didn't get into it beforehand. Excuse the plane flying over.
that's
But
such a good shot of Valerie.
oh yeah, man. Some of the best shots are in this campfire scene. But I had found there's a whole series of books. There's a bunch of books that are written around the Blair Witch mythology and the lore and like a bunch of little like side stories and stuff. And I really didn't get into them until after the fact, and that kills me. 'Cause I don't really feel like I had a full understanding of what I was walking into until way after we filmed it, and that really bums me out because the dossier and the books by D.A. Stern are so good, and they really add a lot to the gravity of what we're stepping into. It's a really
so
rich
detailed,
environment. Yeah, it's so cool. I love this. Peter's just the voice of the audience a lot of the time, where it was just kind of like "fuck you," you know, and a lot of it was so realistic the way that you reacted to stuff.
I think it was important also just for us to remind us again why we're here, and that this is like we can talk about all this stuff, but it personally affects.
Yeah, I
you
like
know,
this a lot because it's like one of
personally.
the times Peter really is I don't know,
Visually
being
affected.
Yeah,
A bit more vulnerable, Peter.
Yeah, there was so much in this scene that I really honestly would love to see again. And a lot of it is exposition, but there's a bunch of character stuff in here that I think I think people would appreciate. There's a there's a scene for me personally. I remember there being a scene where I talk about my relationship with Heather. It's not around the campfire. It's right before this between me and Lisa.
You remember what they cut out there? Can we talk about the stuff they cut out?
Oh yeah, that
The
was another
photo,
thing.
the photograph.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
supposed to be. The movie was. Yeah, sorry, you go ahead. I just cut you off.
I just remember we take a photo, and then at the end of the movie, we find out that there was something in the background
Yeah.
for that photo.
Yeah, like over the
Oh,
credits.
here we
at the
go.
end.
Yeah, this is where things start to happen.
This is where I always get a little get a little scared.
Man, I remember the first time watching it, just like completely loading my pants up the entire.
Wow.
I do not like horror movies. I have a hard time with them. I am a huge sopping wuss,
Yeah.
and so to like, this was like my first real horror movie that I had like watched all the way through. Without
Get your
closing
ear
my eyes.
close up off your bucket list.
Oh yeah, dude, that's the one I wanted everyone to see.
Ear close up.
That's the good ear. Don't want everyone to look at the right one. This was it's surprisingly hard to sound scared. Like you have to. I remember I did push-ups and squats before scary scenes that I had to be out of breath for.
Yeah, out of breath.
To try and like breathe hard. And I got in fantastic shape during that process. But that was just an air horn. That was just Adam outside the tent with an air horn blowing it right in my ear when we were on set. The shit was messed up. I love the wolves, man. That was a really cool touch. Because we actually, I mean, we talk about this in press a lot, but there were actual wolves around us while we were filming all this.
Yeah, it was dangerous.
Yeah, those woods were no
You're
joke,
risking our
dude.
lives.
Oh shit!
Okay.
Every time,
Gotcha.
every time. I scare you.
I love
Oh,
that.
there we go.
You see that James is a respectful guy. He just says one.
James is a creep.
He's a respectful guy. You don't want her to he sees that
you
there's a
can
lady
just-
who needs some. She needs
You
some
could
cover.
just stay in my tent.
Don't
It's
want her to
okay.
think that I got. I'm looking, but I can't help but notice. That's actual.
Yeah, because you guys did that on the walkies, actually. For that?
Yeah,
Okay,
that's actual.
cool.
I was wondering if they would like screw that around in post, but it actually worked out. It sounds like the live audio. Oh, this.
That's always been a funny line to me.
I know, me too. Wes is just a goofball.
Yeah.
And it's like by the end of the movie, you kind of lose track of how what a fun dude he is. Like you're like a really it's
We're
like a
talking
really
about me?
funny
Or
character.
what? Okay, got you.
Yeah, no, you did an excellent job. Like
Oh,
you,
thanks.
Yeah, totally.
just you sitting gives a lot of character to Lane. You know what I mean? Like around the campfire, you can tell so much about him just by how he's sitting.
Oh, thanks.
It was really really cool, dude.
I remember
I'll give you that
when we set
$20 afterwards.
It's 40.
when we set up these. It's 40. Wow.
Oh,
We set up these tents, and then we looked at Lane and Taya's tent.
yeah, because I had this little, like, what was it? A prop tent? Pop tent? What is it called? Like a
Yeah.
little one?
There's
But
so much
we
little
really
stuff.
had to be
appreciated
in
that it
these
was camo.
tents, and I
Yeah.
remember looking at your tent and being like, "I'm glad I'm not in that."
It looks like it was made yourself out of some parachute pants and a blanket. It was like
Well, one thing that was cool was I was wearing the necklace. Well, not the necklace, but a necklace replica of the necklace Josh was wearing in the first one.
Really?
And I remember when I saw that tent and it being camo, I was like, "Oh, this must be because he's wearing that camo jacket in the
Oh.
first one." But I don't think. I think it was a coincidence actually. But
That's really interesting. There's so much stuff like that. Like another thing, like my clothes are all silver and blue, like the Tin Man.
Yeah, and I'm wearing something. I'm gonna close, people.
You have a shirt with a haystack on.
I have with the haystack, but I also had on. I think at some point I have on something that's supposed. Yes, I put on a blue like plaid shirt that's supposed to represent.
Yeah, when we see you in the house, you're wearing Josh's shirt.
That's what it is.
That's
Yes,
you can't really tell.
Yeah.
It's good. It's just
Okay.
a screensaver. Yeah. There's a lot of little hidden stuff like that. But that was the coolest thing was looking at all our clothes and seeing how they kind of matched the Wizard of Oz stuff or like referenced stuff in the original Blair Witch Project movie.
Oh,
Man.
I was behind that tree for so long, you guys. They'd kill the work lights, and I was standing out there. And
It's
I was,
spooky.
that's
It was so spooky.
Those
I mean,
were some of the
it's
scariest
pitch black.
moments of
It's
shooting.
pitch
Yeah,
black.
dude.
And I think this was the first night that we shot like actual scary stuff. And we shot until literally the sun came up, and then we had to stop. But
Real quick, you have the most gorgeous eyes I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh
In this
my
film,
God.
you do all the time.
dude,
Yeah.
I
Or
can't
all-
afford more
in
than
life.
40 at this point. So.
No, that shot in particular, it's like, damn, I could swim in those. Yeah, man. What are you doing, James? What are you? Don't just stare at her. Oh no!
Oh,
On
whoa,
second thought,
whoa,
James is
whoa.
creepy.
We
right?
agreed that while you don't see anything on camera, there was light dry humping between James and Lisa. So while you
Did
don't,
Callie agree to that too?
Callie's idea.
Oh, perfect. Of course it was.
That was about as far as the relationship got. It was a very unexplored.
There's
love.
that tent back there, that big old tent.
Yeah. Oh, you do get a good look at it. I love Ashley. Yeah, I remember my eye was really screwed up this day. I'm surprised it didn't. That's like all I remember from the shoot was just how stressed I was about my stupid eyes.
There it goes.
This was really cool. I remember getting super stoked when I saw the actual like stick figures.
Yeah, that was cool.
Well, there was my hay shirt.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, able to get a little glimpse. Oh, these clothes.
Yeah.
Remember we wore these clothes day after day.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
March
did.
after March.
Yes.
Sweat after sweat.
And there were like
And we refused to let them wash them because we wanted to be authentic.
yeah, we wanted
No,
it
I'm
to
kidding.
feel right. So there was a lot of chafing. Wes smelled bad, just naturally.
Well, I had a nickname on set. It was Swamp Ass.
Yeah, I
and
was about to get to that.
I refused to know why.
Everyone had different nicknames. I believe Valerie's she had a few. There was Knapsack because
Oh my goodness.
she carried all of my stuff. I had like glasses and like sides and all sorts of stuff, my cell phone, and she had a bag that I would use. She was
Do we know where the Swamp Ass came from? Do we remember?
Because you sat down on didn't you sit down on a log or something?
Oh, and I had
yeah.
all
Yeah.
the
That's
all
what's
over
up, that's
my
what it was.
ass. Yeah.
Oh, this was second day of filming, wasn't this?
Yeah.
Or was this the reshoot? Didn't we do this twice?
I'm sure, dude. Like this was so much of this. Oh, this was early. This was really early on because I remember it was freezing.
Is this the trail splitting thing?
Um,
No. Oh, this is the. Oh, yeah. We reshot this a couple.
we have a picture of B next to a tree with bear scratches on it in this
yeah.
area. Like there were like real wild, deadly animals within feet of us at all times. Like this was a freaky place.
Yeah, we're hardcore.
No,
Yeah, we shot this, and then we shot it again another day, and the weather was just infinitely cooler this day to
Guys,
shoot it.
Yeah.
do you remember when I, for a second, actually thought that they were going to leave us in the middle of the woods?
Yeah, we were on our way
For
to
4 days to
Squamish.
Squamish. I was like, it's a coincidence that we're going to Squamish for 4 days. And the day before, they show us the original Blair Witch, and we watch it together. And then we're going for 4 days.
Yeah.
And the original one took like 3 days. I'm like, guys, they're
Yeah,
going to leave
they're
us
gonna
out there. I
abandon
think
us out there.
I think I was feeling good. You know what I mean? At that moment, I was like, I had a chill night, and I was like,
Figured it
guys,
out.
I gotta.
You're like, I'm down, I'm
I've
doing
cracked the code here. This is what's gonna happen.
Oh my god!
I hope you're ready.
would've been screwed
Because
up.
I'm surviving.
Can you imagine if the union got a hold of that? Like,
Oh,
they
right,
just
that'd be
left
terrible.
them in the woods with a camera and a bunch of candy bars.
And I told Jason Constantine this, and he said, "You know what's crazy is that you thought that, and you were still willing to do this film." I was like, "Yep,
Yep.
I'm crazy. That's how much I loved it." It's
You
like,
paid me
That's
for 2 months.
4 days of work.
That's not bad. Not bad.
Jason Constantine
Oh,
is the guy
man.
from Lionsgate.
Oh yeah, he's one of the executive producers. Amazing guy. That's what I was saying earlier. So who knows if I'm pretty sure it was a decision by Adam, but he made a effort to film stuff in the middle of the movie at the beginning of the shoot, so that we didn't film the end and the beginning of the movie until way late in the filming process, so that we really understood our characters by the time we got to the really important moments. So this was one of the first weeks.
That was improv, right? Get a shot.
Yeah,
of
I
this.
think
Yeah, I
fuck
so.
this and get a shot of this. I think all that was improv. I think, and then all this stuff at the end with Blaine and Peter was improv too.
Yeah. Oh, I love this.
If we had just like a montage of us fighting that didn't make the movie, I mean, it'd be movie length. Yeah.
There's a lot of really great stuff in this couple day period.
Yeah.
A lot of this was improv, actually. This was when we were still improving stuff.
Oh yeah.
By the time we got to the end of the movie, there was like no improv because it was so all the information was so tight. But stuff was really kind of we fudged with a lot of stuff around here, around this time period.
I love how she said the exact.
Oh, okay. This kind of screwed us because we started filming all of the stuff in the middle around this time, and it was raining like crazy.
That's what it was.
Oh, that's right. Because
yeah.
after this, we had to get sprayed down.
It
for
was
every
it was
scene.
raining so much during the middle of the shoot that we had to match the rest of the movie to that first 2 weeks, so that we were constantly getting sprayed down by water before every shot. We got like they would always say spritzing, and everyone would shiver just inherently, like, here it comes.
It's like Pavlov's dog right now. You said spritzing. I'm like,
No, Peter
I
chasing
feel
Lane off
freezing.
wasn't in the script either, right?
No.
It's just something we did on the day, and
yeah.
I think
we had
Adam
fun.
liked it, so he's like, let's just
This
keep
was
doing
so
that.
good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we filmed this a lot.
I love this moment.
This is like one of the best moments between us, I think. And that was improv too. Your bit at the end of the scene is so good.
Oh, I love
Lisa,
this moment. Yeah.
voyeur.
Also. This is a. She's like, oh
shit.
maybe
I'm the problem with
Yeah,
America.
Maybe it's me.
Someone get that girl a Pepsi.
Oh. Ba-dum-ts.
Is that old hat yet?
Can we just
This
be
is what we give
united
each other.
and
Bedroom eyes.
cast us?
Bedroom eyes.
Hungry eyes. Yeah, that's great. I remember we filmed a scene where we ate snacks after this.
That got cut out because that's where I noticed. So when I first go off to to pick up sticks, I found Lisa's bracelet, but it was old and aged, and it had like as if it had been there for years or whatnot. And then after that fight scene, there was a scene where we're sitting around eating, and I noticed that she has on a bracelet very similar to the one that I found that was old. And I was like, what's up with that bracelet? And she's like, oh yeah, my grandmother gave it to me or whatnot.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to show later, you find out just it represents the time thing. But they felt that it just was like, I guess, giving it away too early or whatnot.
Well, it's
And
also-
it wasn't necessary because when it
Yeah.
comes out later,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
so powerful.
It's also really difficult to.
Well, they kind of played with it with the 2 p.m. thing, right? Just like briefly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess maybe they felt that's what's so amazing about editing and like the minds behind it were like, you know what, actually, we don't need this because it still works without it. I'm like,
All that work you
oh my
put
God.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that sounds good on paper, but it just doesn't work in found footage style, especially with how we're doing it. Like no one's filmed a movie like this before, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess there's
this was new. This was new into the script. Remember?
Yeah, there was there was another thing in place of this initially.
Because we were walking and then you say the trail's missing and then we turn around and the whole trail, the trail even that we were following was missing.
That was a really cool gag. It was another thing that looks really awesome on paper, but it just didn't play.
work, yeah.
Because the woods are so dense
Now, that's
over
the different
here.
time from when the trail was split earlier, because that scene got cut out too, right? Do you remember at one point in the script we were all walking on the trail and we didn't know which way to go, and didn't I have a gag in there somewhere?
Maybe that's the one we're talking about. Is it still going?
What do you mean? Yeah, I just
So-
had to double check that. How do you mean?
The part where we're all walking,
Right, that part.
and then we come to the fork in the road, and then you ask if we go left or right, and I say right, and then I'm not sure.
Oh, right. That's
That
at
part-
the beginning. That's right. And that
can't
was the
remember.
first moment where we're like, oh, maybe he doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about.
No.
But was that
yeah.
before the fake stick figure reveal of the symbols?
That was, yeah.
Okay, so
Initially.
maybe that's why I got cut
Initially,
out.
that was. There are so many little moments that are
This.
you just don't need.
Oh, yeah. This always reminded me of
This
like
is
a
cool.
Nicolas Cage moment.
Yeah, get it, B.
Because
Bees!
it was funny is our camera op worked on that movie.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
What's that called again?
Wicker Man.
Wicker Man.
Wicker Man. Because that was filmed in
Which one
Vancouver
was
too.
that? Which camera up?
I think Robin
Okay.
did. We had a bunch of. I don't know if it's like cool to talk about this, but we had 3 audio departments and 3 camera departments.
3 camera departments.
This
was an audition scene.
Yeah, this one's
This
really
scene
good.
is so great. I love this
Oh, this
scene.
is fun.
This scene got such a good reaction at TIFF. Brandon.
Something about the way the light's coming through the tent too colors this really awesome. Like it looks like a really rustic like Western or something with the way the light's hitting it. Oh man. This is so
It's
grody.
just a flesh wound.
And what I love about this, everything is what's the word?
Practical?
Yeah, practical.
Yeah. That's another thing
No
we wanted to clear
CGI.
up. There's
Yeah,
no
there's
CGI.
in the movie.
There's one moment.
Well, there's that. I think Simon said there was a trail that was painted over, or
Oh, really?
maybe it was too worn down by us walking on it too much.
Oh,
Maybe
that's
they added
interesting.
leaves or something. But other than that, I'm not really sure.
There's touch-ups because there's at the end there's a blood spurt out of a certain place. We won't spoil it for you, but
Yeah.
there's blood and that's added in just for visual gag. But that's the only time. Everything else is
So that was practical too.
Yeah, there was a ball in the foot cast mold that they gave her,
Yeah.
and some guy was outside the tent with like a remote control, like a joystick that moved it like it was almost like an old video game. And like, you go this way and go.
That's awesome. I love how you did this. This is so well done, dude. You're so good. I learned so much watching you.
Man, you guys, like everyone, I really this cast and
This
what
was
was
a great
I think
experience,
everyone
honestly.
from the get go. What was great about the rehearsals, I think we found the tone and the world together because I know I was watching you guys like, okay, what was he doing? What's he doing? What's she doing? Okay, that's where we are. We're kind of in that world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. How did you feel about how'd you feel about? Because I remember me and Callie were kind of we had a discussion of like how naturalistic we wanted it to sound
Yeah.
and stuff, and so we were really kind of putting a lot of
Ums,
and
yeah.
ers and that sort of thing. Did you feel inclined to do that, or what was your approach?
No, I keep talking. just whatever I wanted to say, just say it. Just,
Yeah.
you know.
You know what I mean? Like, did you?
No,
feel
I
that?
understand what you mean because we always talked about it being very specific. Like obviously, when you do a film, you want to look like it's real life. This was kind of like even more so because it wasn't film real life; it was real life. Does
Right.
that make sense? Because it was
Yeah.
the found footage aspect
Yeah.
and
The audiences these days just have such a good. They have such a sensitive bullshit ear.
Yeah.
And it's hard to make stuff. But the problem is
I
that-
love this when she does this.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh.
Where is it? Did they cut it
Shit!
out? There it goes.
Yeah.
Why?
She's so good.
But I think at a certain point, I mean, like, I think we all relaxed into it too, knowing that there's no way we're going to trick people into believing that this
Right.
is supposed to be like
Right.
real. So,
that was the hard thing.
Yeah.
I think was understanding that we're not going to like do what the last movie did. It was hard to. It was just like there was also a lot of anger around the first movie when that happened. People were vicious.
yeah.
When they realized that it was a hoax, they were like, and for a movie studio of all things, people really hate big companies and stuff. So there was a lot of backlash.
At the time, that was Artisan, right? Because Lionsgate bought Artisan.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
and they got a lot of flack for as much money as the movie made, which is all anyone talks about now. That's not at all indicative of how people felt about it because it was
Yeah.
there was a lot of controversy at the time.
Well, it's just such a different world too, with the internet not being as big as it is now and social media, and
Right.
it's impossible to trick people like that.
Yeah, we couldn't really do this.
Even if we had been the first, I don't know if we could have done it in this day and age, or if they could have done it in this day and age quite as well.
And there's a lot of legal stuff that's involved with that too. Like, I mean, I don't know how much to talk about in relation to the original actors, just because I know that they don't really, or at least Heather has a bit of an issue being with her association with this, just because it was really hard on her that they used her real name.
Yeah.
So people had a really difficult time taking her out of context from the movie as a person, and so I don't want to speak for her, but I just know that there was a problem with the way that it was advertised because it was like missing posters with her actual name on
Yeah,
it.
her
Yeah.
mom got like letters, I think.
Yeah,
I mean, that
condolence
had to be-
letters.
Condolence letters, yeah.
That had to be hard, So like legally, we couldn't do that again because there was a lot of problems with legal stuff with this. So, oh, so
That's
creepy.
so sick. I love it.
This was actually you in the
Yeah,
suit, right?
Yeah, in the middle of nowhere. And then also, I knew that there was something around one of the corner somewhere, and they wouldn't tell me where. They wouldn't tell me what was going to happen.
Oh, your
Oh,
scream was
really?
so
I didn't
good.
know that.
That's super
No,
cool.
I was
That's
so-
so cool.
I was really terrified, and I was out there by myself.
Yeah, because you were actually wearing the camera suit.
Yeah, he'd just be like, "Okay, I just want you to look left at this moment, look right at this moment."
Oh, that's
No,
cool.
but I think at
Yeah,
I
'cause
think
you
at this
had,
point this is actually I think right there.
Oh, nice, Brianna.
you had an earpiece,
Ian.
right, or something.
That was Ian.
That was Ian recording that moment right there.
Oh.
Because I actually remember that because I think they,
Ian was so dope. He's such a
Yeah.
cool dude.
drop cam.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember they kept putting this sequence off.
Yes, we did.
It was like 4 times they were like, "We'll film this today," and then
Was
no.
it because of the tree bit? Because that's also practical.
Yeah, this is and it sucks. This is another thing that's really hard to get on camera because that is an actual tree actually falling.
That is
Yeah.
a big ass tree, actually.
He's
falling.
huge.
Yeah.
I remember. Did we get a picture of that? Is there?
I feel like I might have a picture.
I have to look.
What's his name? I think his name was Ross. Rez. We're Facebook friends. Sorry if I'm screwing up your name, but he actually was the stunt double there, and they did cut out some branches, so the tree actually fell, and just the trunk was right here, and all around him were these branches. But there was this hollowed out like a hole,
Dude.
and he had to stand in this exact place because otherwise, there were branches just pretty much going down
That
to the
is
ground
so
on him.
spooky.
Yeah.
That would suck. This sequence is so good though.
I was
That was
like,
a cool
I'm cool
thing
not.
to-
I'm cool not doing
to
this.
watch
stunt.
being shot, because like you'd be at Video Village, which is where the monitors are, and the director and actors can watch the monitors, and you'd look over to your left and there's just this huge tree just plummeting down, and someone is underneath that tree.
Yeah. There was a pickup truck that was tied to it and it lowered it down. That was wild. That was a really cool thing. That was one of those moments where it was like, oh man, we're doing something legit. Like this is like an actual thing. Because I think
Because we saved a lot of the
find his
scary stuff for
name.
later, so for a bit there, I think we all did forget we were in a scary movie for a
yeah,
second.
because we had so much fun making it for the most part. I mean, aside from how exhausted we got,
Yeah.
it was so much fun to do it. It was like, I remember we were filming this like in the morning, and the sun was coming out, and it was like,
It was bright.
yeah, it was really hard to try
Color
and
correction.
get
Oh,
this.
you can't tell at all. It's awesome.
Yeah, this was like
That was
a
our
tag
thing
at the
too,
end of the
because
day.
we had so many night shoots, and especially you guys, and there wasn't as much time to shoot at night as there is during the day for
Yeah.
darkness to
Oh, can we
daylight,
talk
so-
about those French hours?
Dude, that was can we legally talk about the French hour?
Can we not? Oh, let's just say there was some. Maybe not. Okay. Maybe not. Can we just?
that was an actual question. We had
There was some
we had long nights.
long nights.
Canada's
because we had to
Canada's
shoot
rules
during
are
the night.
different.
But the food
Yeah.
just kept coming though. The food just kept coming.
But I'm telling you, some of those times I was like, wait, this is our meal?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, so
the
in,
soup?
in America,
that's it. And I'm supposed to go to what time?
yeah, in America there's like rules that
It was
you
great.
there are different rules than in Canada for how you're supposed to format a day, and it's like 6 hours lunch, 6 hours meal.
Yeah.
And so in Canada they have this thing called French hours,
Yeah.
where the crew gets to be fed.
Oh, shit. Those jump scares
It's a lot.
are always
It's a
the
lot.
ones. Okay.
But the crew gets fed every hour, but they work all the way through the night.
Yeah.
And we were on that schedule for our night shoots, and it was hard because we
Yeah.
didn't get time to like sit down and unwind. It was like we were constantly in it every night, all night, working
And
on
we're
those
sleeping
French
during
hours.
the day,
Yeah.
waking up, going to set right before it gets dark, and working
yeah.
through the night. I mean, you guys had it hard.
Yeah, kudos to you guys, because
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't have to do the
I died
actual
early.
like scary stuff.
I'm out of the
as
movie.
much as them,
Whether I
but-
die, who knows? Who knows?
Keep watching. Find out next time. Yeah. If you see a tent and I'm not on screen, I'm sleeping in that tent.
You know who was asleep all the time was Corbin.
Yeah.
Corbin the
Sleep
cat.
all the time. you're right.
Everywhere.
Corbin is Ashley. If we didn't,
Yes.
I forget that people wouldn't know the names. Callie is Lisa.
And Valerie is Talia.
Valerie is Talia.
Talia.
I didn't catch the name of Wes's mom, but she was a sweetheart.
She was a sweetheart.
She was.
She told me a lot of good stories.
We
between
didn't
takes.
have many extras. She was
No.
was she the extra? No. We had there was the girl who plays a secret character at the end.
Oh yeah.
Who was wonderful, and then
Oh,
the
yeah.
stunt people were awesome. Brianna, who is I
Callie's stunt double,
forget her
right?
last name. No, she was Callie's stunt double, and they had like the exact same body build, which was really weird. I kept going up to her and like accidentally.
Oh yeah, I get
trying to talk
confused all
to
the time.
Callie and think, yeah, because I would bring Callie like orange juice in the mornings, and I almost gave it to her one time, and I was like,
That's nice of you.
Um,
Where's my OJ?
I didn't get OJ either.
okay, well,
You know what I remember about James?
we're gonna gloss over
You know what I remember about number one on the call sheet right here?
No.
I just remember going to the donuts.
Oh, this is a different story.
Yes.
Her name
Every
is Brianna
time.
Watkins.
It was an economical way to eat donuts.
IMDb.
What was it?
We had a craft service table, so there was like snacks on there. I had my own pair of scissors.
Your own pair of scissors.
It had my name on it.
No.
So I would cut chunks off the donut. I was kidding myself into thinking that I would just eat that chunk. But
Yeah.
it was just that
So you're the reason they were chunky donuts.
Yeah, Chuck. Yeah, we'd go and there's just like
I was like, that's such a cool idea because it's like really helping me not
good idea,
overindulge. Yeah.
No, but you do though.
but you ate like
every
7/8 of the donut.
You would eat 8 donuts. And eat just a chunk of each one of them.
Oh,
this
great
one,
scene.
yeah. This is so cool. This is such a cool thing that they kind of like only ever hinted at in like the past in the original film. But it's such an awesome little tidbit. And you don't. It sucks that we don't get a lot of close-ups on y'all.
Yeah, we were so detailed.
Yeah, there's a lot of like moss growing on your shirt.
I was so dirty that I'd go back to the hotel after shooting and I would take a bath and the bathtub would be solid black.
Oh man, yeah, dude. I was all about some baths. I went full. I was 100% white girl this whole shoot.
He was 100% Epsom
I would end
salts.
every night with sushi and Epsom salt bath. I'm gonna watch The Flash.
I think
and
one
just
night I
think.
was like, "Hey James, can I get some of your Epsom salts?"
He's like, "No, Wes, fuck off. I have to take my bath."
I think I was always at the bar.
He probably cut
at the bar watching hockey. Like, what the hell is this?
He probably cut a
you and
corner of
Robbie.
Epsom salts with the scissors and gave me just a little piece.
Well, while you were drinking rosé and talking about sports, I was sitting buck naked in a tub thinking.
I don't
Thinking
want to
and
think
feeling.
about what
I want you to think about it. I want you to think about it. My rose petals all over the surface of
some candles.
crystal clear bathwater. But we ate a lot of sushi. I was never a sushi guy.
We ate a lot of sushi. The three of us had prawn heads. Remember
Prawn
that?
heads,
That
fried
was
prawn heads.
And no one told me that you shouldn't eat the whole thing in one bite. And I
Oh.
got little cuts in my mouth.
I didn't know
Oh, I
that.
don't remember.
Did you do that?
No.
Oh, I just enjoyed it. I ate it like a.
No, I
ate
enjoyed
the way
it too,
you should.
but after the hell that it put in my mouth through.
What about we also had some interesting rice.
Oh, it was like royal. Yeah.
It was like
We had some
purple
damn good
rice or
sushi.
something.
Yeah, it was like the sushi in Vancouver is next level shit. It's so good. I don't know nothing about sushi or what would make it next level, but I assume.
He assumes it's next level.
Well, you were all about it.
I'm,
You're the,
I'm,
you're
I'm
the
a
sushi queen, so I
connoisseur,
assume.
And I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah, I
It was
assume
really
that
great.
I took your word for it. And that
Vancouver was
some
just a
dang
cool
good sushi.
place in general. I really liked it.
It's beautiful, man.
What is she eating? Is
Little,
it a
she's
Korean
it's a
granola
gluten-free bar.
What if she came back and she was like, I'm so hungry. And you hit it or something. She's like, gluten? That's something Thank you.
I can't eat this. It's not on gluten. She's like legit celiac though, so it's like people joke about that,
Oh,
but it was
she-
like real for her.
Oh,
Like
I
she
didn't-
desperately actually needed the. So I respect it. It
Did
was
y'all shoot this here in LA? Or y'all
yeah. This was LA.
Okay, that was LA.
This one was. You can tell because my hair is a completely different length.
Was it?
Yeah, you can't really see, but it was. I was also a little bit chubbier by this point because but we like left Vancouver and I was like, fuck it, and I ate everything in sight.
But you were really like losing weight during the thing to
Yeah.
kind of like be more gaunt. And
I was
everything.
trying to get as
Yeah.
thin as possible by the end of the movie, which was hard because it was so
Out of
it
order.
mixed up. But I
Yeah.
made sure when we were shooting, because the most of what we shot in the reshoots were the beginning, so I made sure to have a little
it
bit
kinda
of
worked
weight
out
on me
then,
during
right?
then because I wanted to look much bigger at the beginning of the movie than I looked at the end. So
Yeah.
by the time we got to the end of the movie, there was like I was down like 20 pounds.
Method actor right here.
I just don't know. There were just less donuts on set mostly. But that was
I
was
thought
tricky.
it was all
Oh, here we
CGI.
go. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, the rocks.
Oh,
Forgot about the rocks. A little pile of rocks.
God, this was such an exciting thing. I
This
was-
was so cool. Do y'all have pictures? We have pictures.
Yeah,
We'll-
because
we'll-
I mean,
we'll
you
throw
know,
some up on screen.
Brandon and I weren't working this day, and I texted him. I'm like, would you think it's weird if I want to go to set and watch them shoot this scene? Because
I'm glad y'all did.
Yeah, I'm glad I did too, because I wanted to see those stick figures in real life. Like
We
the
got
actual
coffee
ones.
for everyone.
That was
Yeah, we
really-
went to
that was really nice.
Starbucks and
You got me some weird chips.
got some coffee for everyone in the
You
crew.
got
did
some
get you
3D
some weird
Doritos.
chips,
Yeah, because we had like
Oh, we went on a chip rampage.
because
Ketchup
Vancouver
chips.
Well, what would you always say about the chips in Canada? Or you said Canada's like slightly, You had this great phrase for like the chips in Canada or everything about Canada. It's like it's the same, but it's like
You say it's like just Canadian enough to be
Oh
entertaining. or something?
yeah, it's just like everything in Canada was just a little bit weird.
that's
and it was just like a little bit not American.
yeah.
It was like Diet America. It was wonderful. I loved it.
Oh,
It was
those
like all
chip-
the best parts of America were in Canada.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, that's true.
And
They
including
had
the
some
potato
amazing
chips.
chips. We had some like meat lovers.
Yeah, it was like steak.
There was
Steak.
the strangest flavor of chips.
We made sure anytime we went anywhere to look for some goofy ass chips.
But those ketchup chips, though, after you
Not
like the first
bad.
one you had, maybe not so great, but
Yeah.
after you had a couple, they were pretty good. I
Yeah,
think.
after about 3 chips, you forget that you're eating them, and you just start putting handfuls into your body as if this is what you need in order to keep existing. It was like it was unreal how many potato chips I ate during that trip. Oh, she's so good in this.
Yeah, she's
So Corbin's like a Broadway superstar, right? So she has these pipes that could
Yeah,
she could
we shared trailer walls,
love
and
that.
we
she
kind of
could
all
have
did it. in
she
a
could have
way.
knocked Goliath down by just singing at him. She has such powerful lungs, right? So
We'd
like,
always be singing musicals.
yeah.
I'd pound on the door and be like, "Corbin, give me a little bit of Wicked today." And
Yeah.
she'd sing something from Wicked.
She's the most
Oh,
gorgeous
yo.
voice.
Someone out there, we need some fan to take this moment of Valerie right there and just do it like on loop, like Boomerang, and put it to music, like,
like
drop it
snapping.
like it's low. Drop it.
So good.
Who's gonna do that? We need someone out there to do that. Please send it to
That's
us.
so good.
I tweeted
That
about
was
it.
so cool. They spent months working on that because they were talking. They had already started working on it before we even got there. And so,
That's
like,
also all practical, obviously. the stunt
yeah.
double.
There was ooh, so dope.
That was.
That was so cool. But they had tried to figure out how to snap her in half realistically for a while. I'm glad that one worked out because that
Yeah.
looks so good. That stunt double got to work out though.
Was that your stunt double? That looked like you.
that
That was you running, right?
that was me running?
Yeah.
But for
Now
her,
you're in
for,
the rig right now, running, right? Or are you not? Was
this
that a
this was
red?
I think this one I think from like here on out it's like me in when most of my shots. I think that last shot might have been a camera guy, but I remember they had to record
You have to
audio.
put a picture of the rig up too, because
Incredible.
it's insane. It's so cool looking, but it like really is a testament to you guys for having to wear it and do all that stuff in it,
Hey man,
and to do it as well as you did it, because you'd never done it before.
Cinematography is really fun. So that was like
I remember
Such a great
one time
screen.
Adam was like, "Here, take the HMC or whatever it was called that I was using for Lane's camera, and go film yourself point down like walking on sticks." And I was like, "Yeah, I totally nailed that."
Yeah.
And then like you guys are over here doing shit like this.
Oh, this is that. Is this that scene?
it's about to be. I love this. Oh man, when I ran into that, there's a tree over there that I duck under. I smacked my head square into it during one of the takes and nearly collapsed.
Oh,
It
no.
was so, but like
Was this with the rig or without the rig?
without the rig, and I
Okay.
was just
Thank
like,
God.
I'm just supposed to run in. I wanted to like baseball slide into it, but there was no way that I was ever going to be coordinated enough to do it. So I just smacked my head right into the tree. It doesn't help you to try and be cool. Don't do that. Oh, this. Oh God. This stuff coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Her leg, is so good. Were you guys there that day?
No.
No.
Me and Callie came up on it. We had decided to hang out for a bit at the end of the night one day, and they had a snack. They had snack time, right? So there's soup. So me and Callie get like roasted red pepper soup.
Yeah.
And it's delicious. We're eating it. It's a little bit like creamy red. And then we watch this shit. It's like the
Callie
exact
says it on the
same
Blu-ray.
color.
She's like, you're just like slurping the soup and you're watching the monitor. And
It's
she's
the
like,
same
"Ugh."
color.
Yeah.
It's like
That's
I
funny.
can't eat soup ever again. Oh God, it's so
I know,
good.
Right.
Yeah, she
Now,
had.
everyone has a
whole-
different theory on what this is.
Well,
What is your theory? What is
My
everyone's
theory is it's a tree root growing up in her leg.
So a tree's growing in her?
Yeah, she's kind of becoming the forest.
we
I like that.
we
What's your theory?
yeah.
My theory is it's Groot. Baby Groot. Baby Groot is being reincarnated.
He like pokes his head out.
I didn't even
Guardians of the
think about
Galaxy
that.
2 coming this summer.
That's brilliant. That's my theory
That's
now.
awesome. Yeah, people thought it was like a centipede. Yeah, same color as a
I
soup.
mean, that's obviously pus, right?
It does look like it's alive to everyone's credit. It does look
Yeah,
like
just
it's
because.
living.
Yeah, I'm
Just 'cause of the way
probably
it's
wrong.
shaking.
That's just the first thing I thought.
I saw it. It was it was. I believe in my heart of hearts that was a tree root because
Yeah.
it's. But
it is. Yeah, it is.
yeah. I think.
But what is your why a tree root? What is you think it's? I like the idea of.
I think, man, I don't know. Like,
I read a tweet once that said they thought their theory was she was becoming a stick figure, which is kind of dope.
That's dope too.
that could be. I don't know if that's my favorite.
It's interesting. What the cover, the artwork has everyone kind of
Yeah, that's not
trapped
us.
in. I know, but
That's funny because it's like people, but
Yeah.
like we're the only ones in the movie, so you'd think that would be us standing like that in the poster, but it ain't. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's kind of cool that it's there's a, and we should say this before we get to the end of the movie here. There's a lot of stuff that Adam and Simon made sure not to tell us about the lore, and there's a lot of stuff that we don't even know. So if you're hearing us talk about our theories, it's genuinely not an answer.
Yeah, it's just a theory.
but we are curious of your theories.
Yes.
What theories are out there?
I would love to hear. Yeah, you should in the comments or whatnot. Put what you're feeling. We're curious to see what everyone thinks.
Tree root, Groot.
Groot. Yeah, let's have a poll.
This is
I somehow feel like Groot would
beautiful-
win.
I think Groot.
It'd be a landslide.
Callie Hernandez is one of the most ferociously
Ridiculous.
talented people.
She's great,
And I say talent.
and she's a sweetheart too.
Yeah.
People, when you hear the word talented, it sounds like it's this inherent thing that is just born in someone. This girl works so hard. She is so good. And this scene is like incredible. I remember because this is one of the earlier times they put me in the suit. And I'm so glad because we just had to look at each other in order for this to connect. But oh my God, look at that. Single tear. Are you fucking with me? That's so good. It's like, it's beautiful. And then, incredible. That's so good, dude.
Yeah.
It's unreal. She is, I remember feeling like, I can't do that. Why do you have to be so good? I can't do that.
But you're receiving, man, on your end. It makes it just as powerful.
It was just such a weird thing because we had to swap places, and I had to.
I think if I had to look at my face that close up, I'd probably cry too. Because that was a thing too. A lot of people.
This is such an important moment. Sorry,
Yeah.
go ahead.
I feel like it was talked about on the Blu-ray, but shooting stuff like this, you're seeing your reflection, especially during the day, because you are treating the camera frame as a person. So it is tricky because you're watching your performance back right as you're doing it.
It was so hard because as actors, we're trained to not look at the camera, and we really need eye contact. You need eye contact to really connect to a scene, and that sounds pretentious, but it's just a fact. Like people feel uncomfortable when they stare each other in the eye, and that's because there's an actual connection going on there. So that's why it's so important. And this whole movie was. It was not possible for us to look at each other in the eye.
It was an exercise of not being in your head.
Yeah, man.
Sure.
It was. There were so many technical challenges that really made this movie. It was hard, but it was an incredible learning experience for
great.
sure. And I learned a lot. I don't know if I fully delivered on stuff all the time.
You did.
In retrospect, I'll always. I think everyone's.
We're always gonna.
But I mean, this was just such a fun experience with
Yeah.
great new friends and just a really terrific crew.
Yeah,
Does this
man.
remind anyone else of Christmas? For some reason, like I feel like at this moment it becomes like I don't know. For me, like it's the red and green and climbing the tree.
as a whole. I was like, no, dude.
Does this make you just think of
kind of
home?
Christmas
and
do
Just
you
want to
have
grab
it?
a cookie and some milk and sit in the woods and scream for an hour.
some eggnog and jolly old Saint Nick coming down the chimney. But I think it's the tree and the lights, and there's some like demented
Just this scene.
yeah.
Did you see Krampus?
No.
Go see
did.
Krampus.
Is it?
This is me endorsing Krampus. That movie's fucking brilliant. It's so good. I see. That's what I thought of with this. This is so oh man, she was actually up there.
Like now,
too.
just imagine. Okay, another challenge for you YouTubers out there: do this scene with sleigh bells behind it. Like just like you see it now, don't you? You see it now. No, just
like bells in the background. Bang, bing, bing, bing. Oh man, this is solid.
and I think
a
it
lot
was-
of people don't. Well, I'll wait until it happens. But a lot of people don't recall noticing what happens here when she falls out of the tree.
What hits her?
Yeah, what the the thing that comes down off the top of the frame.
It's a shitty high five.
Also practical.
Shitty. I think in the script was it? I mean, I'm sure we can talk about stuff that was in the script.
Oh yeah.
It was like the trees were moving because you could tell something was like climbing after
yeah.
her
Yeah,
at
that
a
was
faster
sick,
pace.
There's a
or
lot of
something.
like really cool privileged information stuff.
Oh,
like,
that was
the
quick.
camera sees things that we don't. And there was, I think, in one of the drafts, there was when the drone goes up through the trees, we were supposed to see L.A. Kedward in the woods.
Yeah.
In the like hiding in the tree at one point.
I do remember that.
And there was a part at one time where like the trees are like falling after you.
Oh, yeah, like
the initial. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
originally supposed to be a bunch of trees, and it just ended up being one tree just because of money.
Yeah.
But it was a really cool idea. I think of you being chased through the woods by falling trees. Incredible.
Scary as hell.
I like to pretend that like Lane's pushing all those trees down one by one.
So fucking strong, dude.
So I'm gonna get you, Peter.
Revenge, Peter.
This was real life rain. I found a little lizard friend during this. That is apropos of nothing, but I remember this night. Every time I see this scene, I think of that little lizard we found.
Oh, did you name him? Her?
I did.
Do you remember the set
Craig.
dog we had?
Craig.
The set dog for like a hot minute
Oh, it's Squamish.
in Squamish.
Yeah, some stray
I love
dog
that
or
little
something.
dog.
right?
Oh yeah, it was like a little Rottweiler.
It's like a slideshow now of just like pictures we got in the background.
animals.
Oops.
And then when James and I was walking somewhere one day and we saw a snake. Like, do you remember that?
Oh, I didn't-
Canada's dangerous, dude.
Yeah.
There's a lot of animals.
Like,
oh, dude,
slither
this-
past
I
us.
every time I see this, I get chills, and not. I don't know if it's an entirely positive way. Like this was the most. Again, I had a great time.
rough.
I loved it. Everything was on the up and up legally. The situation, we weren't in danger. It felt like we were in danger. It was a really scary day. Like this was what, like 12 hours or something. Freezing fucking cold.
Muddy, right?
Muddy as all hell.
Look at that, though.
There's,
Look
there's
at
a
that house.
there's a
It's
hill
insane.
at the bottom. This was at the bottom of the hill that we had to walk through, and it was just a torrent of water flowing through there. It was so slippery. I remember the scene would start up, and we would hear there's like these gargantuan fans around the water towers, which were shooting all the rain everywhere. And they shoot bigger water droplets than most rain feels like because it needs to register on camera, right? So it's shooting these huge streams of water straight up into the air. And you would hear before the scene would start, they would say, you know, they would start rolling, and you would hear the fans start, and it was just and it was this low hum through the trees. The wind would start moving all the branches around, and then you'd hear the water, and it went. It was scary as shit, and it was so unbelievably cold. When I shot this, when I walked through the door, I fainted at one point
Oh,
because I was so I don't know. I just had no energy. I remember walking through the door. They called cut, and I just remember waking up on the ground.
oh my goodness.
And it was because it was just freezing. It was so cold. And after that, the producer Jessica was like, "Executive decision: you're getting out of these clothes and getting next to a fire right now." They were so good to us about it. It was so crazy. Oh,
Did we
this.
talk about the house on the BluRay stuff about the Tom Hammock, the production designer, built the exterior of the house where we were shooting.
Ooh, there it is. Josh's shirt.
And then
Can't
the
see it.
interior on a soundstage.
I'm hiding around I think that. Or they cut that really well. Wow.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't know where I
nice.
hit
Isn't that
there.
awesome?
Sorry, you were saying Wes.
No, I was just saying it was so cool because, you know, the house that we were shooting, when James and Lisa are outside, that was where we were shooting the campfire stuff, like right nearby, and then all the inside stuff was, I don't remember where that was. It was on
Some studio.
Yeah, it was a totally different spot from where we normally shot.
And remember, I would hide. I just stayed in this freaking house
Oh yeah.
the whole time, take after take. What up,
If
toilet?
you guys hear a cat meowing, it's toilet. It's my kitty toilet.
And even though we were on a soundstage, when you go into that house,
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
crazy.
it was scary.
Well, there was
It
some strange smell from the material they used because it was like an actual. They had like built this stuff and then just went around smashing it. So it was like actual like, and it was wet because there was water being poured in through the ceiling.
yeah.
It sucks that it doesn't register all the time, but like
watched,
it was such a detailed, beautifully detailed scene, and it made this very strange environment that was kind of troubling.
There's a little Easter egg there. I don't know if I'm supposed to say it, but
that's scary.
Yeah.
The way she
Uh,
was walking right there.
so
But I mean, we had seen the Blair Witch Project, right before we started shooting. So seeing the house at the end of the first one and then walking into this one was crazy. Just how spot on it was.
I mean, people are always right here like, why?
Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it.
Sets this up so well.
I screwed up my hands so bad in this room. Like everything was so sharp and like jaggy and stuff. Oh, I love this.
This one always would get me.
It's interesting. It's interesting what that implies, because if you look at Heather, who that I believe that is, if you look at her, she's aged and dirty and filthy, right? It's my belief of what's going on out here. Again, this is just speculation, but what I think is going on is the house is kind of the epicenter of the witch's nonsense, The tree that we find at the beginning of the story where
the DVD tape is.
Yeah, the DVD tape is this tree.
Right
that tree.
I believe this is the tree that Rustin Parr was hung from.
Okay.
I believe that this...
Was Ellie also hung from a tree?
She was stretched onto it. She was put onto a tree and stretched.
Yeah.
Her limbs.
I wonder if it's the same tree, or I don't know.
Oh, that's interesting. I would buy that. That makes a lot of sense.
Oh God!
Yeah.
Oh God!
When I first saw that, when we first watched the movie, and I saw that, I was like,
Oh, dude! When we were on, I remember when they shot
I was
that.
so excited.
Because me and Callie were resting at that point, and I remember coming back, and they were like, "We just got the most incredible shit." And props to the camera and the sound crew. Oh my God, they went through so much worse than we did. They busted their asses out there. They never left. They were so committed.
Oh yeah.
They're amazing, and they, while we were trying, like, where's my soup and my ginger tea? It was they were busting ass out there, and refused to.
To be fair, only James did that.
Where are my scissors?
He was number one. Number
These
one on the
scissors
call
have
sheet.
someone else's name on them. Not okay. But yeah, I lost my mind when I saw that. It looks so good. But
What do you think that says?
That's got to be some. It just says.
Don't you?
I would love. We could ask
says
Adam.
drink
I would
Pepsi.
love it. Fly United.
Fly United.
It's such a
no.
topical conversation. It's not going to make any sense next year. Yeah, I think the house is just kind of stuck in this state, at all times. It's like experiencing every time period right there. And so if you get trapped in the house, you stay in whatever state you're in when she's got you.
Yeah.
The rest of you just kind of live to death.
I just showed up to work today on this day. I just decided not to shower.
That's a real beard.
That's all real.
My favorite tweet was someone tweeted the most unrealistic part of that.
I love that moment because I
fucking nailed that.
Sorry,
dude.
Wes. But
No, that's Brianna. That's Brianna Watkins, I think was her last name.
Yes. That's
I just always love that because I'm like, Lane is strong as shit.
yeah, man. That's right.
Lane got some powers.
right.
Like,
pushing them trees over. It was just
Finally
shoving
felt
them.
good. Yeah.
Damn.
good thing we never got into it because you would have.
Kick your ass, Peter.
Look, you're just tossing her in there like she's
know.
recycling. Get in there! I'm the Hulk secretly.
We shot this with the stunt double once, and when she goes down into the hole, she's supposed to grab the camera and take it with her. Well, the camera slipped out of both of our hands and hit each side of the wall on the way down, and we were just like, "Oh no!" Yeah.
Damn.
But it turned out okay.
The camera was okay.
Yeah, it
So
still
we
worked.
broke a lot of
It
stuff.
had a little scratches and dirt on it, but it was okay.
Man.
Hey man, you gotta break
That's
a
one
few
of the
eggs.
most stressful things ever. I remember when I was one time on a set of a TV show, and it was like my first day, and I was horsing around with some other people, and I like tried to do this little stunt, and ended up destroying like a railing, and I was just like, Brandon, that's when I learned. I was just like,
Did somebody go off on you?
no, they were so nice, but I was
dude.
thankfully,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I was like, don't horse around, just.
Oh my
I
god.
feel like we've all probably had something.
I mean, but that was
stupid
on
we've
accident.
done,
Yeah.
Right.
I remember.
But that feeling of,
I remember this one time I was working with this actor, James Allen McCune, and
I heard he's an asshole.
he was number one
Jamie?
on the call sheet.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
yeah, number
Jamie.
one on call sheet, okay?
Oh no. Oh no, I'm feeling it. It's coming back. All those feelings. Help! I'm being bullied again. We've said this joke a few. Should we explain?
Okay, so we take this group picture.
I'm not proud of this. I'm not
We're
proud
at
of this. It's this
I don't
picture.
really remember exactly the story. I just remember the punchline, which is unlike any joke I ever
Well,
tell.
the thing is that you guys didn't catch it until later. I apologized for it.
Yeah.
If anyone knows what a call sheet is, I'm not proud of this story. It's not a good story.
You got to tell it now. You already started.
A call sheet is basically who's coming to set in the talent.
No, a call sheet is order of importance of who's
Yes,
the most
order of
important
life.
people.
The lower you are on the number scale, the lower you are in life.
Everyone's goal is to become number one on the call sheet in life.
Let's just say James reached that goal.
Okay. For the record,
That means that's your diva license. You become number one on call sheet.
He's like, I'm
it's like
uncomfortable.
my balls
and he
are on the
waves
table
the
right
call
now, and you
sheet.
guys just punching them, just one after the other, taking turns.
She was incredible during this, by the way.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Another
Not to-
moment of why I felt dwarfed by working with her.
What did they call it? There was this moment they really like measured her size.
Yeah,
and
they measured her
created a
waist.
choke.
It's called the choke.
The
The
choke,
choke,
yeah,
which is like-
where
This
it
was like
the
an inch
hardest
bigger
part
than
for
her
to fit
waist.
through. Yeah,
Man.
2 inches wider than her shoulders, I think it was.
Yeah, incredible. Her teeth are so white. Those are the whitest teeth.
Go ahead,
How's her
Lisa.
teeth wider than mine in a dirty tunnel? But no, so back to number one on the call sheet.
Yeah, what's the
Damn.
story?
So we
I
were
don't-
I thought
taking
we
we were
forgot
taking a
about
group
this.
photo, right? Is that how it started?
This took
It was our
photo.
first group photo as a cast, and
I was excited.
I was
having a good
It was
time.
great. We were having a great time until I'm just kidding.
So
So James is in the middle.
Yeah, naturally.
Yeah.
And somebody was like, "Who is it?" I think it was Valerie. Was like, "Look at it. It just looks like it's all about you." And I was making a goof. I was goofing.
Making a goof.
I made a goof. I said, "Hey, number one on the call sheet."
Oh, diva.
I said this. Nobody heard me. Everyone just went on like nothing had happened.
Didn't become a
except
running joke.
to me, because nobody said anything except for ugh, and then walked away. I remember Coco was like ugh, and then left. And I felt that ice cold like liquid down my back. My
It's one of those
spine
things where
was
you
like.
say something and you
I'm an
think about it
asshole.
way more than anyone else does, you know?
It's, the twist in my story is that I'm a huge dick. My mom deserves better than this. She raised me better than this.
This would be a great musical.
Oh,
like a
God.
moment of like being like,
What
I'm
have
an.
I done?
We all freeze in the background and the
Yeah.
spotlight's on you, of course.
Am I an asshole?
I think I'm an asshole.
James has a great voice.
But I would be number two.
But I remember the next day we were talking about messing up or something, and I was like, by the way, speaking of messing up, I feel really bad about the joke I made yesterday. And everyone was like, what joke? And I was like, shit, I could have gotten away with it if I just hadn't said anything.
And then you mentioned, was that on the ride over? To
yeah.
set?
And then you guys, the rest of the, anytime I was ever mentioned, it was, hey, number one.
I
Yeah.
love
That was
it.
the rest of the show. Oh, this is great. This is really. Oh, there it is. So this is the only CG in the movie, and it's
there's
not really
CG?
CG. It's just
There's the
there's a
blood.
squirt of blood, and that's it, right? Because that's I think I heard that. I could be wrong.
Oh, are you talking about the blood I spit out?
I think I heard Simon or Adam say
It might
there's a
be.
little bit,
I know
but
for
that's
sure
it.
that they loaded my mouth up with stage blood a lot,
Yeah,
and I spit out a lot of stage blood that day. So maybe it was. I don't know.
I love the shot of Ellie. By the way, not the witch.
No,
Clearing
not
that
the
up.
witch.
This is
Not
not the
the
witch.
witch.
It was credited wrong originally. I don't know.
Oh
if they
wait, this
fixed
is this is my favorite shot of any horror movie of all time. I kid you not.
When
right,
she's coming down.
right. Wait, you know the one.
I know where it is. When she looks back.
I lost my mind when I
That
I lost
right
my
there.
mind when
Yeah.
I saw that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that in the Lionsgate theater the first time. That was special. Yeah, dude, that's a killer shot. But it's not Ellie. It's not. I mean, it's not the witch. It is. I believe it's Ellie.
It's just a mixture of the creature and then the sound design and the set and just
There it
the
is.
There's the first shot of the
And
movie.
I love the things how like you can tell it's the DV cam
Yeah,
versus the.
it's excellent. And the thing that I was saying plays in here. I think the reason that Ellie is so deformed and so gangly is that she was captured by the witch in her moment of
being elongated.
right, and I think that, and she's all old and crazy and stuff, and I believe that she's stuck in the last state that she lived in.
I love all the theories behind this too.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is great.
So should we talk about what our theories are?
Yeah,
'Cause
what's yours?
Again,
I wanna see what yours-
my theory is the passage of time,
Yeah.
day
Yeah.
to night.
Yeah, was that what yours was?
Yes. I'm still believing it's Groot. And I think that that's
he's got
how,
like he's got like a Jeep Wrangler, and he's like he's driving over a hill.
this is the rest of the Guardians of the Galaxy arriving.
Yeah,
to be like
the same universe.
be like we left Groot in the forest here. And then they go off and enter volume 2.
Oh, I love that too.
Oh man, I
The entire last
think
half of this movie, I'm obsessed with.
Yeah.
somebody. Yeah,
Y'all shot this how many times?
a lot.
Yeah.
This was another like. But I mean, there were so many chunks to this day. Like there was so much to do in this attic that there's no way to calculate exactly how many times we did it because we had to break it up into pieces and just do stuff as many times as we could. Like me breaking through that door.
So what do you think if this corner thing can kind of keep you safe, right? Or temporarily, I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
In the first Witch movie, Blair
Right.
Witch, where am I going with this question? who is after them? You think
I think it's Josh.
you think it's Josh?
I think it's Josh because
Yeah.
Mike is
Oh,
in
I
the
didn't
corner.
think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Josh is the new Rustin Parr and you're the new Josh. I
Okay.
think that because you're wearing Josh's shirt too. I think that he's, I
Oh,
think
you're
he's-
wearing Josh's shirt?
when I'm in the corner. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're wearing
That's-
Josh's shirt.
Okay, so
I think that he's kind of doing shit. He's still out there, I wouldn't be surprised if he's the one who's cutting down that tree. I think that Josh is manipulated. Ooh, I think that was Ellie,
That's it.
or that
Yeah.
that was the witch. I don't think that.
Oh, you think that was the witch?
Yeah,
I think
see that
Ellie's
being
in
the
there
witch.
with us and the witch.
Oh, okay.
I think the
interesting.
stomping we hear is Ellie.
What do you think? Is like sucking you out of time or something?
Yeah. Well, it's not. I don't think that I'm dead because you don't. I don't know. I don't know about dead. I think that we're.
Whose voice do you think says, "Lisa, I'm sorry"?
I think
Do you
that's.
think it's you,
me.
or do you think it's the witch using your voice? So it's probably
Well,
yeah, probably the witch.
it might be. It's the same audio. It sounds like the same audio from
Yeah.
earlier. So she could be mimicking because she's mimicking Ashley later. You hear Ashley screaming, or that could be a time warp.
Oh my
Ah, it's so
goodness!
great.
So
I love
good.
that. Also practical. No CGI.
Yeah, that was a girl on stilts.
Did
Was that
like a
Brianna
little
too?
quick pot
Yeah.
of BluRay real quick.
She is
She's
ripped,
just
dude.
killing it.
She like
She's all over this commentary.
yeah, it's crazy. She just nailed everything though.
She did. She was great.
I was in the back room over here while she was filming this, and I remember I wanted to hug her. She sounded so distressed. It was incredible.
I mean, this is
I was
exhausting.
behind this wall right here. I was just standing there, and I think the witch. It's either that the witch mimics people, which I heard, I've heard that a few times, and I think that makes sense, or she's like using our bodies, because Heather's still there.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if we're just kind of, although Heather's running away from me so maybe Heather is just spending the rest of her afterlife just kind of running away, or trying to find Josh. You know what I mean?
I'd be curious. Why did she turn around? I'd be curious to know.
Well,
Callie's
I was
theory.
watching this with my my best friend, and he was like, "I wish the battery ran out before she got captured."
oh,
Can you
cool.
imagine if like she's almost out of the room and the battery just turns
That's
off?
awesome.
That'd
Yeah.
be really crazy.
That'd be so frustrating. It'd be cool.
Oh
man.
yeah, people would lose their minds. But it's like there's love there. I think that she's
Yeah.
yay. I think that she's worried about James.
Yay, Simon.
Simon B.
SB.
SB.
Yay.
Should we just talk over the
Producers.
credits, or should
Sure.
we?
Yay.
Yay.
Snoot.
Oh, great.
Jenny.
Yay,
Oh, she's
Jenny.
She
awesome.
loves to
Yeah.
go hiking.
We got hiking with her.
Yeah.
There you go. Dan Myrick.
There's the
Greg
originals.
Hill.
Robbie.
Robbie.
That dude is the fucking best,
He
man.
really is.
He's
He's
the
great.
best. He's so good. Tom.
Tom. Awesome.
Tom
Killed
fucking
it.
nailed it, dude. Like the way that he put the set
Yeah.
together is just unreal. It's so good.
Gotcha.
We're just gonna like call out everyone's name. the entire
Adam.
Yeah, I don't know. I think when people are kind of caught in the house, they're either doing stuff for the witch, a la you and Josh.
Yeah.
Woo!
Woo, James. Number one.
Oh God.
Callie. Woo.
I think they're either doing her bidding, the rest of eternity or whatever, just kind of, and she's feeding.
Yeah, Valerie.
I think that she's like feeding off of their fear or whatever. That's how the witch stays alive, and which is why she's like summoning people into the woods.
Yes.
Did you boo yourself? We got to work on your esteem.
No, we got to work on it.
Okay, sorry. Continue your theory.
Yeah, or she's either forcing them to do what she wants, or she's keeping them in the final state that they're captured in, and the rest of eternity they're just kind of wandering the house trying to either escape or find whoever they're looking for, because nobody goes into the house unless they're looking for something.
Yeah.
And you're dragged into the house.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that you're the only one.
I think I was probably looking for a
get
razor
away.
and a bar of soap.
Did I tell you what? What'd you say?
I was looking for a razor and a bar of soap.
Did I tell you what I think if they were to ever do another one, how it should start? The first line of it should be,
What?
or whether it's the trailer or whatnot.
What?
It should be someone comes in and slams a book down, and so then the other person looks at them like, "What the hell?" And then that person leans in close and says, "I know how to kill the Blair Witch."
That's awesome.
Copywritten. Copywritten. Because, like, how do you
Writing
defeat this
credits.
thing?
True.
I mean, not that it's that type of thing, that movie, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, like, when you got something of great evil like this, Kim Harden,
Yay.
and Deb Aquila, how do you, like, what is the... Because I know there was this talk about maybe eventually doing a origin story, almost like, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Or that's what,
Like a
like, I
prequel,
guess.
yeah.
Yeah. But I'm just curious, like, where would you go next with the story, you know?
Oh, I talked to Simon. Simon has like the next, if they were to make 2 more movies, and this is a weird misconception I think people get, where maybe Adam and Simon, people read them wrong in their commentary, where it sounded like it was their decision to not make a sequel because they were just bitter that it didn't work out the way that they wanted in the box office, which is just not the case. Like, first of all, nobody goes into a movie thinking, I just want to make money. Fuck the audience, and if they don't like it, whatever, you know. And like, nobody's thinking that. Like, these are everybody got on this movie. There wasn't a single person who wasn't crazy passionate about it.
Yeah.
It wasn't dying to keep this story as top quality as possible and
No.
stuff. And the reason that they were saying there wouldn't be a sequel is because of, you know, it's just money reasons.
Yeah.
It's not like a decision on their part. But Simon had said, you know, if we were to have 2-3 more movies, I would have the ideas for him. And
Wow.
he told me vaguely, and I don't want to speak for him, but he
Yeah.
told me some stuff that sounds really cool. And
You guys hit up Simon.
tweet at him,
Tweet him.
give him
Like,
a little tweet.
Yeah.
But there's
Start
so much.
hashtag Blair Witch
Witch.
2. What would it be? I don't know.
Blair Witch
Hashtag.
2. What is it? What is this point?
I don't know.
Can we talk about Book of Shadows?
Can we?
Legally, we can.
That was
Okay.
hashtag Blair Witch BOS.
Boss.
We'll be like, what, 3, I guess?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't know. When everyone was like a third Blair Witch movie, I was like, not
Technically.
really.
Yeah.
not really.
Maybe hashtag the next Blair Witch.
Yeah, it would be like
Something you can send your tweets to Simon or any of us or whatnot. I'd
Yeah.
be curious. I'd be curious what
Yeah, that
where
would be
you
cool
would like
to hear
see
what
it
they
go.
where
For
they
sure.
would see it go.
You know? Hashtag next Blair Witch.
and just tell us what your theories are. I'm curious to see what everyone's thoughts.
And if you
Some
are
people have some really, really cool theories. I read one that said that they thought it was possible that Lane could have lured the original trio in the first place.
That's very possible.
Yeah.
It's cool because if you don't really see it, and there's a story behind how this came up, but when me and Callie happen upon the house the first time, and we're outside and we see the light coming from the upstairs, that is the actress who played Heather. So we approach the house at the exact same time Heather starts looking for Josh in the upstairs. So
Oh, wow.
we are in the house at the exact same time period as the original trio. So it's so cool that came up, because I remember just throwing that idea out at the beginning. We were just like talking about possibilities, and they would be in the script the next day, and that was one of them. So it's just kind of cool that how collaborative this movie was. It was just like whoever's got the best idea. But yeah, there's so much stuff. Like it's a very distinct possibility that Wes could have, or Lane could have been the whole reason for. And you know, people it's found footage. The footage was collected from multiple cameras and put outside the woods. Maybe Lane collected all the memory cards, all the cameras. Maybe he's the one who put it all outside for the police to find, or maybe he's the one who found Heather's camera and put it outside. Oops, bumped the mic.
One thing I will say is anyone I saw this movie with, it was a situation where afterwards they were talking about it for like an hour, all of their theories, and this movie did that for a lot of people.
Yeah, and you know, love it or hate it, there's so much cool shit. There's a lot of cool shit going on in here. It's just interesting to see how different the landscape is now versus when the original movie came out. It's a very different response. It was interesting. It was a very, I don't know, what did you guys like experience? What were you feeling when the movie first came out?
The original one?
Or this one?
This one. I was just really excited. I mean, You know what I didn't do, and I've always been meaning to do, is go on to, and that's what is exciting about what we're doing now, is to engage with the fans and those who are out there who do have theories. Because I know that before, when we were shooting it, I was always saying, "Oh man, I can't wait to go online and see what people are saying." Oh, that's what the lights are here. Or what is this time thing? Like all the questions and Easter eggs and what people's theories are. So I just remember being really excited to engage in that conversation, but I never did. And so
I've made a habit of going on to Reddit and
Yeah.
chatting with folks who are. Or
I don't
Facebook.
know about Reddit. I'm not gonna lie. I mean,
It's a weird landscape.
Yeah, I
It's
hear
just
you.
message board, right?
It's
Basically.
Yeah, pretty
I hear.
much.
I hear. You gotta really. It's just like you said, a weird landscape. You got to get used to how
it's
it
a
works.
really specific environment,
Yeah.
and you can find so much great stuff on there, but it can be a little toxic, so it's hard to weed out some of the cynicism.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with doing a film like this and putting it out there for the world to see, is that there's going to be more cynicism than anything else, because the most vocal people are the ones who are negative for some reason. So
yeah, that's true.
it's for Reddit. I'd just like to go on there and find people who are very genuinely interested in looking for answers and trying to, and I won't tell them it's me or anything, but it's just kind of fun to talk to people about what their theories are and stuff. And yeah, it's the community that's into this and loves it. It's like they're the coolest people.
Yeah,
People who are going to
really
be watching
passionate
this
about
all
it.
the way through. So if you're still here, thank
Yeah.
you. We love you.
Thank you.
This is a really big deal for us because it was a big chapter of our lives and our creativity for a long period of time. And it might seem like old hat to do this right now, but it's I don't know. It's very special. I have so much to talk about with it, and it's kind of cool that hopefully there are people willing to listen to it and whatnot.
Yeah. What was y'all's experience around the release?
I was just really excited about the whole thing. I mean, that was one of the questions we got, which I guess we can get to, was talking about stuff you'll walk away from. This one film alone, accomplished so much professionally that I wanted to. I mean, I'd always wanted to do a horror film, a studio film, to work with Adam and Simon, to go to Comic-Con, go to TIFF. So just in general, just extremely excited.
Yeah. Same. I mean, there's just like a lot of the thing about being an actor is that it's not really up to you a lot of the time, if you get to work at all. So it's funny because we got asked a lot of questions like, what made you decide to do this movie? And it's like, dude, I need to eat.
Yeah.
So it was so cool to get to be a part of something that was so fucking worthwhile, because it's not our choice a lot of the time.
Yeah.
It's just like we just want to
Yeah,
we just want to work on stuff.
None of us realized we were doing a Blair Witch movie at first.
Yeah, and it's so thrilling to work with and to be friends with people who are like Adam and Simon, and Keith and Jess are just like, it's a dream come true to get to work at all, much less to work on something so fun.
Yeah.
And it's easy to let the perception of box office or whatever get in the way of how you feel about it, which is a factor. It's unfortunately it's an easy thing to let you get caught up in, but our experiences were nothing but overwhelmingly positive the whole way through.
Yeah.
For me, making it as far.
I mean,
as
we went to we missed you terribly, Brandon, but like at Midnight Madness at TIFF, when the lights go down and then the title card comes on, and there were just such passionate people there, and you got like butterflies in your stomach, but it's the best sense of excitement and dread all at the same time, because you're like, oh god, I hope they like it, because you do want to please the fans, and especially the diehard Blair Witch Project fans,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it was awesome.
Yeah, there's really something to be said about I don't know. It's always confused me how people and not to knock them at all, but like I think Johnny Depp and DiCaprio, they said that they don't watch themselves or something. They don't watch movies they're in. Which I respect that.
I feel like you have to make a lot of movies before you get to that point.
I for sure.
I'm still like, is this really me? Is this really happening? Let me just watch it real quick.
But for me, like the majority of the experience is seeing other people enjoy it. So like,
yeah.
And it's also I learned so much by watching.
You do learn
what I did in this movie, for better or worse. It's like but the response to the people who loved it, it's like crazy cool.
Yeah,
super
people are
exciting.
passionate.
TIFF and Comic-Con was special. It was so cool. But it's also, I mean, you know, we can't really wash over the fact that there was a different response in the general public once the movie did
People
come
that
out.
really liked it were really great about being vocal about really liking it. Too, which was appreciated.
Yes.
And some of the negative stuff that I did read was hysterical.
It's so funny. People are vicious.
There was a tweet. I was starting the story earlier, but there was a tweet that said the most unrealistic part of Blair Witch was this dude ever growing a full beard. And he's not wrong. But he tweeted a picture of me, and then he replied to his own tweet with a zoomed in picture, and he replied again with an even closer picture, and then I think the caption for that was, "I refuse to believe it."
That dude went hard.
These are the people who we need to make the little gif of Valerie being broken in half.
Dude.
Like, if you got that,
I laughed so hard.
It's a dangerous thing to have a
That's
strong
funny.
opinion and skills in Photoshop. Oh man, that's funny. Yeah, dude. And I've just recently discovered something that I've listened to, or I was consuming a piece of media. I don't know if I want to say what it is, but I hated it so bad that I had to talk about it to everyone, and I'm doing it right now. But I was like, it's like a 10 episode thing. I got 3 episodes in, and I was so furious at how much I hated it that I decided to listen to the whole thing so that I could understand what exactly I hated about it. And that's the first time I've had nerd rage like that. And so it's like, okay, people.
What, nerd rage?
Nerd rage.
I love that. Do you know it?
I've never heard of nerd rage.
Oh, I don't know. I'm definitely the first person to say that, I'm sure, but like
nerd rage.
But people feel that way. It's kind of cool that we've like affected somebody that way. That somebody was like, "This makes me so mad. I have to go online and make sure they hear it from me personally." It's like, it's kind of cool that happens in a way. So it's kind of fun that
they're talking about it one way or another, you know, and people are still talking about it. So that's cool.
Yeah. It's interesting. This is a really weird medium because it's totally us. You know, you can't be an actor, and people only praise actors who, you know, slip into characters that are very different from them. But it's hard to be an actor without bringing a part of yourself into it. You can't, you know. How does your character know how to feel unless you do? So it's.
Well, I mean, I can't affect how well I grow a beard. I can't help it.
No one's judging you about your beard, Wes. Like every day I see Wes, I'm like, where's his beard? Why doesn't he have a beard? I want him to have a beard. He doesn't.
I just need the.
Why don't you ever have a beard?
Really to catch the glue one on.
Yeah. But I don't know, man. It does feel like if somebody doesn't like something that you, especially as an actor, that you put in, it does feel like, ooh, me. They don't like me, you know. But that's not the case. It's just not worth thinking that way.
I please everybody all the time. And there were people that said they were upset that we showed The Witch, which we did.
We didn't. I can see why people get that.
People that get angry if you don't show anything. Well, I went for answers or to see something. Those people contradict each other, and
there was no way.
There's just no way.
There was no way to please everybody.
Which people already have preconceived ideas about. So it's like.
Oh, I know. I know. I did when I found out before I realized this was a Blair Witch movie. I remember hearing it's found footage and getting disappointed at first. Just like shit. No. It's one of those, you know. And it sucks that that's the way, because for a period there it was like the most creative way to make a film. It's so original,
so cheap too. So
that's the thing.
Found footage.
I think it's so. And now that I've gotten into it and I've watched more and I've really explored the medium, I think it's incredible. Yeah, I respect it so much now. I just haven't been a part of it, but yeah, man.
It's a lot harder to make it look as effortless as it can if it's done well, you know.
Yeah, and it's supposed to look shitty, which is the funny thing. Yeah. We're like trying really, really hard to make this look like garbage, but it doesn't. I mean, it's like a beautiful movie.
That's what I also really like about it. It takes, and I feel that Simon and Adam, this is what a lot of their films do. They start you in one world with the genre. You think you know what it is, and then as you go deeper and deeper into the film, it becomes something else. Like I love how even the moments, and I think there's some moments earlier. I think one of the first moments I noticed is when Corbin's starting to kind of hallucinate and the screen does some weird things. Yeah. And you're just like, okay, if this is in the found footage world, then technically it wouldn't be able to do that. Right. You know what I mean? But
her feelings wouldn't be affecting the camera.
Wouldn't be, yeah, exactly. Or like during the moment when Callie freaks out and the sound goes weird, and those are the things that make it really cinematic and cool. And it's like, we're taking the found footage genre, and then our Simon and Adam did, and then they're also saying, but we're also going to do our own spin on it, right? And then even the movie at a certain point, like halfway through, becomes like a freaking horror
ride.
movie. Yeah, it's a ride,
Yeah.
and then you go into the scary house. It's like a freaking haunted house, and I that's what I love about the house, because it's the epitome of a haunted house, and it reminds me of those feelings of going to a carnival or whatnot, and just being like, shit.
No, yeah, you're
Like,
not safe.
especially the worst is, I remember going to these haunted houses where you didn't necessarily know where to go. Almost like they gave you a certain amount of time in there before they do this thing with the lights to kind of help you know where to go, and those are the worst. I mean, it's not like one like where there's a guide to, you're just,
Those are the people I scream at. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry.
but it's cool. I'm really excited to also just be a part of the whole Blair Witch canon.
Yeah.
I mean, no matter what, it's just like,
And that's the cool thing
it's
about your
dope.
character is that you're the only one, I think, who could conceivably not have gotten captured by the witch too. If you think about it, and I might be contradicting myself from earlier, but if you think about it, like you knew to hide in the corner, you knew to close your eyes.
Oh,
when she
possibly.
was
I see what
coming
you're
for
saying,
you.
yeah.
We never see you get taken by the witch. We know you got dragged into the house, which might have been Lane's doing.
Yeah.
But it's possible you could be the one who escapes.
Interesting.
Elaine could have
And
possibly been
that brings us to the
Ashley,
next
too.
Blair Witch, where I come in and I say, I know how to kill the Blair Witch.
Yeah.
Boom.
And then I'm gonna be like, can I go? If you're gonna go out there.
That's Lane. He's so strong. Yeah, thanks for sitting down with us and watching the movie. If you made it this far, we really appreciate it. Thank you so much. You don't understand how much it means to us that A, you watch us at all, and B, that you cared enough to see the movie a second time maybe or something. It's like, this is really cool.
Well, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you stopping by. Once again, here are our Twitter handles. Please tweet at us. And here's the hashtag that we discussed. I can't remember what it is now, but it's on the screen. So just go ahead and use that hashtag to talk to us about your thoughts and your ideas. It means a whole lot to us. And hey, have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for coming.